So I will split my sharing into two parts. The first part is if you want to look at it from a long-term investment basis, then these are what some of the stocks that I may may propose that I myself would trade in. Okay, so first up, if you still remember the last time when I was in the session with Emin, I shared some stock ideas, right? And I asked you folks using the DCF method, which stock is overvalued, which stock is seemingly expensive but actually undervalued. So I recall showing this NVIDIA. Based on DCF, the last closing price was 141, the last market price of the stock. The last time I was in this session, I shared with you folks a couple of stock ideas, like which are the stocks that are cheap, which seems cheap, but actually from a DCF, that means from a fair value basis, actually not that cheap. So NVIDIA is a prime example. And the other one that I remember sharing was this Alphabet or Google. Okay. Google looks expensive if you take it at face value at the last closing price 173, but its fair value is at 234. So theoretic, so on the fair value basis speak, so you're actually looking at a potential upsize of about 25%. So you have so you can have potential to grow if you are looking at investing from a long-term perspective. Between these two, I would say that go for Google, look at Google from a long-term capital growth, portfolio construct. Whereas if you want to be speculative, for instance, if you want to use NVIDIA to trade NVIDIA, maybe do some day trading, go in short, uh, and then come up quickly because you want to win this stock trading game, right? Then NVIDIA may be the kind of stock for you. This one is speculative. So two buckets. One is long-term growth. Google would fall into this long-term growth. Speculative would be NVIDIA. Okay. So let me just show you. So if you look at NVIDIA, it's gone up and down, up and down. Okay, so I do expect this coming Wednesday, after the market close, NVIDIA would likely see some volatility, some swings, because there's a lot of spotlight, a lot of focus on NVIDIA. So I do expect, but just simply on this basis, you could expect to see quite a fair bit of volatility for NVIDIA. So that would, excuse me, that would really come under this speculative bucket that you want to so-called adopt this approach. Okay, so whereas Google, has come down a bit. Yes, it's gone up, but it's come down again. But this, to me, this is actually a good buying opportunity, and better still if you want to use options. Okay, so what other stocks do I have? Let's talk about speculative. So speculative, you have one NVIDIA already, right? Now, the other stock, if you want to focus on speculative, is for day trading in particular. For instance, you want to go in, enter quickly, come out, or if you think that based on the most recent trends, you think you want to do some short selling, might be an opportunity too, because the implied volatility of Tesla is very, very high. So high volatility means that you actually have potential to get upsize short-term speculative gains. Okay, so that's Tesla for you. What other? Let me just look at some of my other. Okay, so these are some of my other portfolios. The other one. Okay, you could also consider this semicon. Okay, but it's so far I've been talking a lot about technology, semicon. So maybe I will look at a couple of other stocks to sort of give a more balanced view. But for now, I would say that if you want, you can also consider for this one, I would say put it under the what you call long-term growth bucket, for long-term portfolio growth bucket. ARM Holdings. Okay. Excuse me. Let me. So then there's the question of how to trade, right? So I'll just give a very quick overview. If I were to trade the standard buy sell method, just go in, enter, and of course, if you look at what is the market is not open yet, we just based on the last price 174. So you can excuse me. So you can maybe set a buy order. You want to buy, let's say 10 shares just to try out, for instance. Okay, so maybe you just want to buy, you don't want to buy so high, you want to buy at 170, what, 173 perhaps. Then set it to outside regular trading hours in case pre-market, if it drops and hits the price, you get the stock. Okay, so that's what you call straight buying and selling for Google. Of course, if you want to do it by the options way, I would say you can consider, if you're not very confident trading your real money yet, use your paper trade account. Okay, so let's see what is a bit small. So you can see better. So you can you know that Google is already undervalued, right? So even if you choose at the money strike price, and if you do believe that the stock is worth 230, whereas it's now trading for 170, 174, so it is already undervalued. So you actually don't, you can theoretically actually just enter at the money price 172.5. Again, just do a sell trade, for instance, and ask for $178 premium, $1.78. Okay, check the order. Check the order. Okay, I'm not gonna do this straight now. I'm only gonna wait until the market open. But this is just an example. So, because when normal times, if they say I will click on accept, but now the market is not open yet, I'm not actually placing the trade yet. There's just a what you call flow demonstration. Okay, so that's for Google. Now, how about for the other? We're talking about the earlier we're talking about ARM, right? Okay, let's go to ARM Holdings. Okay, so I'm seeing that the last closing price is or was 127.83. Okay, so if you want to do a straight buy sell, that's fairly straightforward. You can do fractional shares, as I've said, or you want to do in one standard lot of 100. And maybe you set up, you as a buyer, you want to buy at the lowest price possible, and up to you. You think that you want to ask for you want to ask to buy the shares at $127.50, that's fine. Remember to set it outside RTH in case the free market, it actually hits the price, it will actually execute the order for you. Okay, then of course, don't necessarily click on buy order and let the transaction go through. Okay, apologies, I'm a bit under the weather. Okay, so if you're doing options, if you're doing via the options way, you can go for this week's option. Okay, and maybe if you want to be a bit more safe, you can go for a little bit further out of the money, like 120. That gives you the system calculates that it has a 85% probability of you being profitable in this trade, and you can actually earn $108. Okay, so for myself, I'll just put it in as I just leave it in the parking lot later, or if we'll just cancel the order before the market opens so that it doesn't get executed by accident. That's for me. Okay, so that's okay. So what else have I given you? Okay, so now then, so that's two so-called long-term growth stock that you can look at potentially, right? Now let's sort of switch the valve to the speculative. If you want to do Tesla, for instance, or Nvidia, I'll come to Nvidia in a while, Tesla. If you want to do the straight buy sell, this one you really got to rely on TA already. Okay, from the looks of it, from the looks of it, I'm not an expert in TA yet, but I'm just looking at this. So there seems to be fairly strong buying that's happened over the course of last week, even though the pricing came down. But in the most recent closing, there's the buying the strength of buyers is actually quite strong. It's I'm using this as reference, lighter green or darker green. So I'm using this as a proxy to say to sort of give a gauge whether the buyer is stronger or the seller stronger. Okay, right? So so what would you like to do? If you want to do a short sell, for instance, if you think that there's a chance that Tesla could still be weak, of course, your guess is as good as mine. Let's say you want to do a short sell, for instance. Okay, I don't think you would. I mean, it could, but I don't think you'll drop to anywhere under 300 today. Personally, I don't think so. So you gotta decide what is the price that you want to set the your trade at. 342. I don't know. Okay, so maybe then just do the necessary, send in the order as accordingly. But if you want to do via options trade, okay, so this way it gets interesting. Okay, now options trade, the premiums for Tesla is very, very rich. So you can actually sell quite far out of the money, very far out of the money, but no guarantee that it will still protect you, because looking at how it has happened last week, right? If you still remember, for those of you who was like watching the market, if you recall, Tesla within the past 5 days, it's still showing this kind of trend. Okay, so that's why if you want to do via the options route, I would suggest really consider going further out of the money as possible. Even if you sell an option at 315, that is a gap of what? The last price is 346, 315 versus 346. That's a gap of about $30. You still can get about $800 of premium. Okay, for this week. If you go next week, the premiums are even richer. So let's say you can even, at the same strike price of 315, you can earn 1,001. Okay, but for myself, I kind of live week by week. So for myself, choose I would choose I'm kiasu lah. So I will choose even further. Maybe 285. I still get $100+ with a profit percentage of 92%. So that is what I would choose. Okay. Oops. Let's say 285. So I place the order. Okay. Now it's pre-market. Order will not be placed. Okay. So not to worry. Okay. So that's for Tesla. Now, how about NVIDIA? NVIDIA it's 139 now. 139. So, and quite quite flat, I would say, based on what the charts are telling you. But if you look at the what do you call the strength of buyer, strength of seller seems to be coming down. Okay, so theoretically it could represent short-term weaknesses. We can kind of expect maybe some short-term weaknesses to persist. So maybe you want to do some short selling. I don't know, maybe 135. Okay, sell order. No, set it to outside RTH, regular trading hours, and set in the order. That's if you do a straight shorting or straight buying and selling. But if you were to do options, okay, options or NVIDIA, how would it look like? also quite rich, although not on the same level as Tesla. Tesla is really insane. Okay, so you can bearing in mind, we know that Tesla, Nvidia, the fair value is about 60 plus dollars, right? Currently it's 139. So if you really gonna go to 60 plus, there's nothing for you to earn. So no point. I mean, so you can be a bit more risk taking, a bit more speculative. Just don't be overly risk taking. So you can go for maybe 120. That gives you a buffer of about $19. The option strike price versus the what they call the current market price or the last market price. So you can still earn about $105 premium. Okay, so place the order. Sell order. Okay, if normally if when the market opens you click on accept, but now I don't want this to I don't want to jam up my so-called I don't have so many of these placeholder orders in my uh in my pending trade yet. So in case I forget to close it later, so I'm just gonna just just give you a quick demo and that's it. Okay, so that's already two what do you call two long-term growth stocks and two speculative stocks, right? Now, um, what I would like to maybe let me just refer to my own what do you call um spreadsheet tracking to see which other stocks that I have actually. Okay, interestingly, I was dabbling in Moderna last week, but the trade went against me. So that could be something for those of you who are, doing, itching your hands to do some shorting in the market. Moderna is Moderna is on a downtrend. Okay. Does From the looks of it, it doesn't look like it's going to actually have a bounce, have a very strong bounce. So what you would like to do if you're looking at it from a speculative, if you're looking at your speculative pot of money, right, that you can use to invest, maybe Moderna could be something that you may want to consider. So maybe you'll be prepared to buy at 37, for instance. Or as in, sorry, not buy. You'll be willing to short Moderna at 37. Okay. But always remember this, I forgot to mention. Whatever you do, whether you're straight buying or selling, buying or shorting, please remember to put in your stop loss as part of your own risk management. It's very, very important. Okay. Remember to protect yourself. So Moderna is one of the stocks that you can consider as a straight buy or straight shorting. Okay. So that's outside of the tech stocks that we've been covering so far. Okay. So let me look at my trades again. Okay. So, hmm. Okay. Hmm. Let's see. Should I video and mouse descend? Okay. So for those of you who are looking at long term, maybe you can consider, excuse me, this ETF for long term growth. Okay. It's not exactly cheap, but it is mirroring the S&P 500. So it gives you sufficient diversification. So if you want to do, okay, for this VOO, maybe I suggest we consider going in from a options investing perspective. And on top of that, go for the monthly expiry. Okay, that will be 20th of December. Okay, The reason is it gives you a bigger margin of safety. That means you can choose an even further, what do you call, out of the money option contract price, the strike price, excuse me, as as low as far as 490, under 500. The current price 538, right? So you can go for under 500. So you can choose 490. That's also, that that gives you a sufficient attractiveness in terms of premiums that you can earn from selling this option contract. Okay, so that's one stock for you to consider as part of your long-term portfolio growth, to what you can put in your growth portfolio. Okay. Um, one last. Okay, so which are the stocks I've covered? I've covered Nvidia. For speculative, I've covered Nvidia. I've covered Tesla, right? Okay. If okay, let's see. So these are some. Okay, let me. Um, I I do dabble in this Coinbase quite a bit in also in light of the recent what do you call, rally of Bitcoins, the cryptocurrencies. So Coinbase has enjoyed quite a good run and has given me quite good option premiums. But let me also caution everyone, it's going to be quite volatile. It's going to be quite risky. If you don't have a stomach, then please stay away. Okay. I'm just saying that for me, I've done it for the past few weeks of trading. So it has worked so far for me, but I'm not sure actually going forward, I'm actually still going to, focus so much on Coinbase. Okay. So because, yeah, so Bitcoin is something that is so unpredictable, so wildly swinging. So I really don't have a feel about how this, plus this RSI is also giving me a bit of concern. So recently it's hit the overbought level. Okay. So as far back as last week, I think. Yes, 11th of November, it's reached the overbought level. So yeah, although it's come down a bit, but it's still hovering around that high level, that heightened level, which is giving me a bit of a pause, a bit of a concern. Okay. Now, another, maybe a couple of more ideas is you may want to consider precious metals like silver or gold. Okay, so silver is SLV, uh, pretty straightforward. Okay, so it has been relatively, if you look on it from a trended basis, it's kind of like sideways, but in the recent weeks, actually, it's been coming down. So to me, silver actually represents a good buying opportunity, buy and hold for long term, because silver is one, unlike gold is really for vanity. You just buy and hold it, and as a hedge against all other negative things like inflation, economy, recession, whatever. So to me, I personally like silver a bit better, because silver not does is not simply a vanity metal, but it also has very practical application, industrial applications too. So, and the other important reason is also not because it's not so expensive as compared to gold. So if we just take a quick look at some other, like Barrick Gold, for instance. Okay, and it's just not showing up. Okay, gold NYSE. All right, so that's gold. Of course, this is not the gold ETF per se. This is the company that is behind the mining of the gold. So in addition to silver, just now which you saw SLV, this could probably be also another stock of interest to you if you want to have some holdings in terms of precious metal. Not directly in the precious metal, of course, but you can also consider other metal ETFs. Okay, so offhand, I'm not really looking at any of the precious metal ETFs. I'm just looking at specific like silver and Barrick Gold, which is a gold mining company. So over here, you can consider, hey, it's actually not that expensive, not that higher price. So you can actually buy outright, put in a buy order, buy a little bit whole, build up your gold this stock portfolio over time, and when it's time, when you see the gold rally, then you cash out. Okay, or if you want to consider you doing the options route, also can options route, but I would suggest if you do buy options, go for the December month expiry. Firstly, it gives you better premiums. You can choose a little bit further out of the money. You can go for lower strike prices. The premiums are slightly better too, but you probably got to go for multiple contracts like 16. If you choose a 16 strike price at 34 cents, you probably got to do 3 contracts, for instance. 34 cents quantity, choose 3 contracts, and then execute the order as accordingly. Okay, so that's won't be placed until the time. Okay, so that's a very quick run through of some of my trade ideas or my trade plans for this week as well as for beyond.
Or maybe I just do a bit of sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, over the weekend I actually took a course on AI, ChatGPT. Actually quite interesting. I mean, of course, I know ChatGPT have been around for a while, but I haven't really played about it. So basically, I could actually key in some of my criteria for ChatGPT. And they come out actually quite decent stocks. So maybe I just do a demo for those who actually need some ideas. You can just play around. Okay, so the openai.com, openai.com. Then you just have to register lah. You don't have to pay. Don't have to pay unless you wanted to do graphics, I think. Okay. So I'm just sharing, like for example, you all know that a few criteria based on last week. Let's say, for example, list down 5 US stocks that pass this criteria. Okay, like for example, like my 6 test criteria. Um, so I have number one, current ratio more than 1. Then number 2, debt equity ratio less than 1. Then after that, I could have like uh uh price earning ratio less than 25. I could even have this okay, considered undervalued based on discounted cash flow. Okay. Yeah, so interestingly, the results, at least based on what I have got it the last time, actually not too bad. It makes sense. It's not rubbish. Like this time round, yep, I had this few. Okay. So I actually did a quite detailed one. I remember, if you could recall my last week's sessions, I have almost 10, 11 criteria lah. So came out actually quite interesting. Also, for those who are interested, can actually play around with ChatGPT, and like this time round, actually also got some good ideas. AP, AT, so and so forth. Of course, and I don't know whether can make money or not, I don't know lah. But if you actually out of ideas, okay, this is one tool that you all can play lah. Yeah, so this is yeah, I just learned this last week. I attended AI course, quite interesting. So especially if you actually want an in-depth analysis, they can actually do like for example, you can say that do a in-depth analysis on Tesla and give uh an investment recommendation, for example. Okay, let's see what pops up. So you can see valuation concern. Oh, analyst rating. May not be optimal buy for risk averse. So quite interesting they actually say. Let's see. Okay, list down 5 stocks that has potential for price growth this week. Of course, this one is you have to trust them. Okay. So yeah, I'm actually so still quite new in this. I'll be playing around, but quite interesting. The last round, when I key in all my criteria, about 11 or 12 of them, right? Then whatever that is scoped up, is quite close to whatever if I were to, go through the hassle of going through stock screener and things like that to actually screen out myself. So yep. Another way to play. So to play with it, so just take note, they will remember your previous entry one. So I was told if you actually go and start scolding him, start scolding the ChatGPT or put in too much gibberish, right? Then they will come out with gibberish lah. They will scold you back. So they will actually remember your previous one. So let's say you open an account, you want it to know you better, or do certain things, so have to put in all the nice terms. Okay, yeah, that is all I have. Anybody has any questions for myself or Seong Yo? Anyone? All good. Okay, by the way, anybody here haven't registered yet? So the closing date to register for the US trading game is tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay, by tomorrow is your last day to register for the US trading game. How to register? You just have to submit the the page of your demo account that we call the start state the start state. Okay. I think most of you have sent. So basically, if you have not submitted and want to participate, you have to send to me a screenshot of your start state. So of course, most of you actually use your demo account. If you want to use your real life account, sure, go ahead. So I will actually calculate the result. Okay, based on I think it's 25th, 25th November. See who has the highest percentage gain. Can? Questions, comments, anybody? We have a very quiet crowd today. Okay, no questions, no comments. Then we'll call. Okay, good. Someone say thanks. Okay, so no questions, no comments. Okay, I think that's all we have. Seong Yo, have anything else? Okay. And of course, for those who actually just want to stay back a little bit, want to chat, sure, I'll just hang out for another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Good night. Yeah.